God-woken. Wait till she finds out.
Salty water wets the gauze in which you're wrapped. The bright sunlight seeps into your bones. The boat bobs forward through the water, and Fort Joy shrinks behind you.
Tired but victorious, the party made for the Lady Vengeance. The horrors of Fort Joy behind them. They arrived as sorcerers. They left as God-woken. The fate of this God-forsaken world now rested on their shoulders. Or at least, on the shoulders of one of them.
Yes, this might be something. Well, this is a fine sight. Utterly barbaric, of course, destroying a tree and turning it into a boat. Grotesque, but, well, look at it, Quercus. A floating nest, surrounded on all sides by salt water, pure poison to a tree's root. The great acorn could never reach us out here. Well, yes, of course we'll continue our research, Quercus. We're not monsters. Still, I must admit you were right about the shield. It proved to be more than adequate. Oh, yes, it seems our shield is still here, Quercus. How does something so large and ungainly sneak up on a person? You give the giants too much credit, Quercus. I think the salty air has addled your mind. It has certainly been useful, but elegant, kind, surprisingly attractive. No, we have no time for your fawning. We may be safe, but the world is not. Come, we must return to our research.
my Seeker brethren, show us the path to salvation. Sendelius, pray to you for my Seeker brethren, show us the path to salvation. Sendelius, hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Deliver us from peril. Don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive. The ship won't sail. We had orders to search every corner of it and figure out what's blocking us. It's hewn from elven livewood. I thought I could communicate with it, but...
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby. Something is nestled within it. Fragments of scorched bone.
That was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him, without warning. He burned, like he was made of parchment. Nothing. The ship is livewood, that much is clear. But I couldn't communicate with it. The Magisters must have done something, warped it somehow. I just don't know what.
Her eyes flick over to the smouldering ashes once again, her head held at a despondent angle.
Thank you. We were held captive together on this ship. He kept my spirits up. Now he's dead. Just remember what I said, Godwoken. If you die, then this was all for nothing.
Before you is a towering figurehead carved in the likeness of a dragon. It looms over the bow, its fangs bared at the open sea. At that moment, the ship serendipitously creaks beneath you, almost like it is acknowledging your observation. Searing pain races up your arm. The ship senses you. It's angry. The pain intensifies. It's spreading past your arm, across your chest. Your lungs feel like they're on fire.
Sendelius, hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Deliver us from peril. Be careful around the figure.
spare me, Gareth. We got what we came for. This is what success looks like.
I won't see them tossed overboard. Not here. We'll hold a proper service.
What's-his-face and so-and-so would want us to get this ship sailing before all else. They died for those Godwoken, after all.
You know their names, Malady. Can't you even pay them that much respect?
Gareth inhales sharply, then catches you out of the corner of his eye and smiles, barely.
Our guest stirs. Welcome, Godwoken. Glad to see you safely aboard.
Ah, our undead Godwoken. I had nearly forgotten.
Too many.
One too few, actually. Alexander, he's alive. Apparently didn't hit hard enough.
He's in the hold below decks. Unconscious, but alive. Question him. Someone has been hunting your kind, and Alexander fancies himself the only Godwoken worthy of ascending. As far as we know, you may even be the last still alive. If Alexander is guilty, he'll face justice. Yes, we certainly had better, but the ship won't move.
She's mute. We need to free her tongue.
This is barbarous magic.
Expedient magic, actually. The ship is made of live wood. It has the spirit of an elven ancestor tree within it. It seems Dallas has found a way to bind that spirit to her. That means only she can control it, unless we can find a way to break the bond.
The Seekers, the survivors of us, have been combing the ship from bow to rudder. It hasn't been easy. This place is laced with dark magic.
These Seekers have such a limited skill set.
We lost a man in the search. Malady might not appreciate that, but I do. And I hope you do too.
I'm sure the Godwoken will be able to get the ship moving. They kind of like to feel useful, don't they? Hopefully, you'll never have to find out.
Void Slayer, Worm Killer, Godwoken. You have many names. Let's add ship's captain to the list once we get this thing moving, shall we? Undead is a name I wasn't expecting to call you, mind. When Malady revealed the truth to me, I was unprepared. But Lucian works in mysterious ways. It is his will that brought you to us. The Divine is the avatar of all the gods, my friend. It was through his spirit, and maybe one day yours, that the Seven do speak. You may not speak to him directly, but he is always guiding you. In this, you must trust me. She's not exactly a seeker. She's not exactly an elf, either. Half demon, Meister Siva says, and I don't doubt it. I don't know how Siva came to know her, but Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the best, really. Meister Siva's there too. One of your kin. My leader. Our leader. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart.
Gareth pauses, then shakes his head.
A mistake was made. That's all I have to say on the matter. I won't let the fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallas, no better than Alexander, if I just tossed their remains into the sea. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. All this blood. Children ripped from families. Seekers ripped from me. He's down there now, guarded like some precious jewel, rather than leashed and flogged like the dog he is. Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. That was before we found the others. The Seekers were once part of the Order, my friend. When Lucian died, we waited. Yet Alexander never rose to divinity. And then we started to find more like him. More Godwoken. And we weren't the only ones looking. A killer had marked them too. The Seekers were born. We found Godwoken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. I was naive. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. She'll reveal them to you. Show you how to manipulate them. Keep Lucian close, Godwoken.
Hey, stranger. Glad to see you. No Reds in the offing yet. Don't imagine they'll stay gone, though.
You made it, Godwoken. Good. Not all of us did, though. The sooner we leave this island behind us, the better.
Look who we have here. The slave, no less. I wouldn't have bet tuppence on your survival. Yet here you are. It is quite a tale, I assure you. And the upshot of it all is that I've accomplished a goal on this horrid isle that came quite unforeseen. But of course, first you must know that I'm a prince, the Red Prince. I'll give you a moment to let that sink in. You have no doubt heard the tales of certain setbacks that befell me. Setbacks that forced me to leave the ancient empire, my empire. It was then, forced as I was to wander the wilds, that a voice first began to reach me in my dreams. But the voice spoke from too great a distance, too faintly to be understood. Yet I had to understand. Somehow I knew this to be of vital importance. I searched this island for a dreamer, one of the mystics of our kind who, as you undoubtedly know, can travel the dream world at will, as if it were another realm just as real as our own. And so I met with Bahara in the sanctuary of Amardia. We raced through dream wastes, beset by nightmares, until we reached the voice. It turns out it was that of Brahmos the Wanderer, the greatest and most elusive dreamer of them all. He desires that I should meet him, somewhere on Reaper's coast. And meet him I shall. That is where my journey takes me next.
I was just thinking of you. Dying to hear them.
Malady smiles at you. Bright eyes, cruel mouth.
Well, you've eschewed your pretty little mask, haven't you? And besides, I know everything. Meister Siva is one of a rare breed. She'd do anything in the name of a cause, and her cause happens to be you. She's desperate to meet a living Godwoken. She'll be exceedingly pleased we're en route. We'd better not leave her waiting. She's a bit particular. She's the founder of these Seekers, and she's powerful. That means something when I say it. Your kind can reach astounding heights. Meister Siva can help you do just that. A place called Driftwood hosts to putrid fish, putrid dwarves, and Meister Siva herself. You'll probably find it quite comfortable.
We have to find a way to get this ship moving. We can't let the Magisters catch up with us. We're too weak to fight them again.
You made it out. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure you had it in you, but I'm glad you did. Hero of the Seekers, eh?
An amused expression crinkles the crow's feet at Iffin's graying temples. His face looks a lot older than the bright green eyes gazing out.
Nice to meet another so-called Godwoken. I'm gonna hunt down my old pack leader and find some answers. The Lone Wolves have been tasked with killing Godwoken. I'm Godwoken, and a Lone Wolf. That's a problem. Say, on the way there, I could use someone to watch my back. And it looks like you could use someone to watch yours. Want to team up? Sure is. Shame to look a gift horse in the mouth. Like I said, suit yourself. If you change your mind, you know where I am.
The silent monk leans forward slightly and stares at you straight in the eyes. She seems eager for you to say something. The silent monk leans from one foot to the other. He seems eager to move.
you doing? You creatures with your legs and arms and your opposable thumbs. You always want to steer the ship. You need to trust the ship. It knows what it's doing. It dances to the tune. It goes la 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 la, or something like that. It's pretty catchy, but I can't remember how it goes. Good thing Dallas had that book, eh? Oh, she opened it and looked at the marks on the inside. How the hell else? All right. Go to the nose bit of the ship, open the book, look at the markings inside it, sing the song. That's it. Get it right and the ship will dance to your tune. Get it wrong and the ship will kill you. That's always entertaining. For me, anyway.
Let's team up, you and me. What do you say? Suit your...
He drags a comb through his beard. His face bears the scars of a hearty life, but his whiskers glisten as if glazed by the morning dew.
Good to feel the rolling of the waves. I might actually get a good night's sleep.
Oh, please don't stare. It's tiresome. If you must know, there is an excavation site at the Black Pits on Reaper's Coast. I go to seek answers. The only treasure worth digging for. Knowledge. I was investigating a site where several artifacts of my people have been found. Some were even intact. Alas, I was not the only one there. Those red-robed idiots were scurrying about too, trampling precious clues under their ignorant boots. They caught me when I failed to correctly respond to their questions, and dragged me here. Still, it's good to be on the move again. Ah, yes. I have heard that your people enjoy various fermented fruits and vegetables. It often seemed to be involved in... Pardon? Was that an invitation? Were you trying to initiate some form of mating ritual? Why, that would be excellent! I have been curious about this for some time. The social interactions, the expectations, the mechanics. Come now, let's begin immediately. I shall compile my notes afterwards.
Fane grabs your hand and enthusiastically pulls you behind the screen.
Well, that was most unusual. I mean, I had read all the leading authorities on it, but I didn't think... It's just... that thing you did with your tibia, it was quite unexpected. My goodness. It was certainly an experience, but I must admit I was expecting something more. Not from you. Certainly not from you. It's just that well, I felt nothing. Neither the warmth of your touch nor the fire of your passion. I may as well have been shucking an oyster.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, you were perfectly adequate. Sublime test conditions, really. It's just, well, all these books promised a transcendental experience. Instead, it was merely biological. Now, if you'll excuse me.
The skeleton pulls a notebook from his robes and starts scribbling. You can hear him muttering something about highly unorthodox, lack of sensation, and coccyx. You ponder his words as you pick up the last of your belongings. You're almost sure that's what he said. Now is not the time for a bath.
Melody says if we can get the ship to move, we can go home.
All that fighting will be worth less than nothing if we can't get this tub moving.
This boat's a treasure. Dallas wouldn't know what to do with her.
A young woman shifts her weight between her feet as though swaying her hips to an imaginary beat. She rubs her forehead, her face tight with concern. Her eyes roll up to meet yours, their great black pupils greater and blacker than seem natural, expanding further as they take you in. She smiles, and the worry melts from her face.
Hey, it's you! Well, 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 we meet again. They told me you'd mosey your way down here eventually. Well, hello there, madam. What was your name again? I'm Losa.
She wipes a grubby hand on her tunic and holds it out for you to shake.
If it were up to me, you'd be swinging from the end of a rope, not locked up in here.
Probably. I'm a musician, singer, lute player, jester, mystic, daughter, friend, lover, and now, Godwoken. You're one too, right? kind of. You know about my, situation, right? Right. Well, I'm a host. Always have been, probably always will be. I'm never alone in my head. Spirits visit, wanderers, sprites, demons, ghouls, disembodied mystics. You name it, I've chatted with it behind my own 2 eyes. I'm only hosting one right now, though, and it's a real piece of work. Malady said I should have met one of the gods when I had my vision in the Hall of Echoes, but I didn't. I met it.
Magister Randy, Corker's mate for the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. Can't you say anything else?
I know. It's really... special. I don't know what this thing is, but I'm gonna get it the hell out of my head and make it sorry it ever came knocking. What's your deal?
You'd be swinging from the end of a rope, not locked up in here.
Magister Randy, Corker's mate for the Divine...
Harder than it ought to be, isn't it? You know, I never was much of a solo artist. Want to find out what comes next, you know, together? Sure, whatever suits you. Probably better for you in the end anyway. I'm not always myself, and sometimes not myself is a bit, unpredictable. Anyway, see you around.
Lady Vengeance. Enough!
The Seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you draw near.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the bloody Divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints are paying the price. No, they had us down below, chained up in the dark. But the Reds were up to something in here. Maybe it was just the lack of food and rest playing tricks, but I swear I heard chanting and horrible moaning coming from here. But when we broke free, it was empty. Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold, and the other one ain't in much of a talking mood. All right then, just don't make me regret it. I'll keep an eye on the Red until the cage is locked again.
A young Magister paces around the brig, fussing over Alexander's unconscious form. She leans over and applies a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot. So stow your questions, lizard. Ranley, Corker's mate, Lady Vengeance. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
The Magister falls silent, but stares at you with unwavering defiance. There's a shift in the Magister's expression, a flicker of doubt. Then...
I'm a good Magister, loyal. But Dallas, something about her has changed. She's toying with dark magic, like a common sorcerer. She used to sing to the ship. It let her control it. She had this old book of hymns and incantations. It was only ever in her hands, or else locked away in her cabin at the stern. That's all I know. Get away from him, sorcerer. That's the divine. All right. Don't harm him. I'll be watching.
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope. The gem sits heavily in your pouch. Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells.
Too late for that now, Red. The bell can't be unrung. You spoke, didn't you?
Ha! I knew you would eventually.
I've spotted something.
Speak to me if you're looking for hired help. I've got good fighters of every stripe. They know how to keep their mouths shut too, as long as there's gold in it for them. So, what'll it be?
There's something to these doors I'm not seeing. But what?
Hey! You're here! Pretty nice boat, eh? We got an upgrade. There's got to be another way to get it going, but we can't find a way into Dallas's room. Maybe you can see something we can't.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice it's unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. A face appears in the wood, tortured and tormented. A six-sided indentation is carved on its forehead, as if a gem or amulet had made a mark there. The face vanishes. The anguished face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you the sternest of looks.
No entry allowed through the starboard stateroom door. Please use the port side door. No entry.
I am summoned. Speak the password. You've summoned me with the gem, indeed. Now, the password. Yes, and yes again. The word is spoken. Welcome to the stateroom. Enter at your...
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you. A curious smile plays across his lips as he takes you in.
An undead, eh? Wonders never cease aboard this vessel. But beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Especially when it comes to their rescuers. To whom do I owe my thanks? I see no cause for alarm. I'm not some uneducated simpleton, you know. Armor? Such a limiting word, but yes. It serves that purpose, amongst others. Dallas has been keeping me prisoner here, but I try to keep working on my own projects when I can. Despite what she did to me, I can't help but admire the woman a little. She's unwavering. She will break before she bends. If you cross paths with her, be sure to break her. I doubt you will get another chance. Why torture? What else?
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath, the skin is withered and discolored, as if it were magically decayed.
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and I've ruined them in the process. Well, the situation is looking immeasurably better now. You'll hear no more complaints from me. So why don't you tell me all about my valiant rescuers? To whom do I owe my thanks? You undersell yourself. The roster of those who stood up to the Magisters and lived to tell the tale is a short one. I ought to continue what I'm doing here. Unless there was anything else? Took it? No, I made it. Have you seen the kind of metalwork the Magisters deploy? This is in a different class to them. As I said, the Magisters left me weakened. But this will help give me the strength to carry on my work. I have particular skills that she sought. Healing, crafting, and more arcane magical practices. She had me enchant a dead cat, for instance, so it would seem alive.
He clicks the gauntlet into place around his withered forearm, his eyes on you the whole time.
But that damn contraption that she used on me seems to have fogged my memory. The rest is a blur. No! Necromancy is an unsavory practice. Surely you, above all, understand that. Dragged back from your slumber to live some sort of half-life. The cat is a cunning illusion that I devised. Nothing more.
His face abruptly creases into a smile.
But come now. Enough of Dallas and dead cats. You've taken this ship and granted my freedom. This is a happy moment. Quite sure. Now, I can hardly be held under suspicion for being enlightened. Wouldn't you agree? I'm afraid I cannot tell you what I do not remember. Could you pass me that copper wire just there?
He takes the copper with a nod of gratitude. His sleeve slips back, above his elbow. In its crook, you see part of a tattoo. A pattern of concentric circles rendered in black.
Perhaps my memory will come back with time. But for now, I'm afraid there's little more I can add. Dallas didn't tell me anything if she could avoid it. But I did overhear her practicing an ancient lizard dialect. That might ring a bell with you, might it? My thoughts exactly. Curious how Dallas would seek to learn such things, don't you think? Perhaps she left something behind to point to her intentions.
A pyramid. Whatever on Rivellon is this for? I've spotted something.
Quackus! Our shield has gone mad!
good to have a sense of freedom once again. I'm doing my utmost to be civil to you, under rather trying circumstances. Why must you push me like this? I'm more than a sum of my parts, friend, indeed. But I fear you might have come to the wrong calculation about me. How about you just let this matter rest?
He takes your hand in his gauntlet-clad fist and shakes it. There's a lot more power in his grip than his slender frame would suggest.
Call me Tarquin, and consider me at your service. I'm glad that your doubts have been put to rest, my...
This is written in ancient lizard script. It appears to be a song.
I'm glad that your doubts have been put to rest.